Hey guys, my name is Joanne and I'll be talking about B.F. Skinner's About Behaviorism, Chapter 7, which is called Thinking. So in Chapter 7, Skinner discusses the different processes involved with thinking. He makes a position that thinking or higher mental processes are behavioral processes. Skinner begins by mentioning the difference between covert behaviors and overt behaviors. Covert behaviors are not immediately observable. They are mental, social, or physical actions, just like thinking. Overt behaviors are immediately observable. For example, walking or using facial expressions. He goes on to discuss different types of thinking and how they are behavior. So some of the types of thinkings that he discusses are search and recall, attention, making choices, and solving problems. The first cognitive process he talks about is attention. Attention involves contingencies and underlying the process of discrimination. So the process of discrimination is behavioral. We pay attention or fail to pay attention to something depending upon what has happened in the past under familiar circumstances. Forming concepts is also a behavior, because concepts allow us to talk about features of the world in a common way, or like in a way that everyone or the majority of people can understand. Next is search and recall. So searching is behaving in ways that had previously been reinforced. In other words, like when you are searching, you are taking certain actions that are similar to actions taken when something has been found. For example, I search for keys by the door because the last time I looked for keys, I found them up by the door. So my behavior of looking by the door has been reinforced previously by finding the keys by the door. Skinner mentions experiences stored in memory. Though memory is a storage of copies of stimuli like faces, names, dates, locations, and more. So those memories or stimuli are recalled and used in order to behave more effectively in the setting in the future. Recall techniques increase the probability of response. For example, mnemonics are behaviors that prompt the behavior to be recalled. Also, like when a person forgets lyrics to a song, people tend to go back to the beginning of the song or a part that is more familiar to them because it increases the stimulation. So in a way, it gives you a running start to recall the rest of the song. Skinner goes on to talk about solving problems. So a problem occurs when some condition will be reinforcing, but there is a lack of response that will produce it. A problem is solved when a response is emitted, and solving a problem is the process of taking steps to make the response more probable. For example, forgetting a name is the problem. Recalling the name is the solution. And to get to the solution of recalling the name, one can go through like the letters of the alphabet until the name is found. And that process of going through the letters of the alphabet is the behavior of problem solving. In addition, Skinner mentions choice with problem solving. When there is more than one response possible, the escape from indecision is the problem. So the situation becomes aversive, and making the decision is the behavior that is reinforced. Next is creative behavior. So when talking about creative behavior, people use history and modify or manipulate parts of it to create something new. For example, in painting, a painter changes colors or his brushes and surfaces to create new textures and forms. In music, a composer will systematically vary older songs or music to create like new rhythms, scales, or melodies. New can be beautiful or successful, and that's what makes it reinforcing. Now, the structure of mind. Skinner goes to say that when talking about the mind, you cannot neglect genetic and personal history. Concepts are developed through history or through a person's growth and development in their lifetime and by their genetics. And that development is affected by the environment. Size, shape, motion, position, number, and duration, and other things like that are features of the environment. So next, the last section is the thinking mind. In summary, the mind is the tool that examines sensory data, stores retrieved records, filters information. It's used to make decisions and to act. Skinner says that human thought is human behavior. The history of human thought is what people have said and done. You can find that on page 130. He argues that thinking has dimensions of behavior and it's not an internal process. So I'll end this video with a quote. On page 113, Skinner says, in mentalistic formulations, the physical environment is moved into the mind and becomes experience. Behavior is moved into the mind as purpose, intentions, ideas, and acts of will. Do you agree with this quote, and why or why not? Thank you guys for watching.